Estonia, the Baltic Republic with an independent streak, set apart from much of the Soviet Union by its different language and culture. By Soviet standards, Estonia, with its capital Tallinn, is the republic of variety, efficiency and initiative, with a reputation as the Soviet Union's land of plenty, which is short of almost nothing and where you can buy almost anything, even personalized hand-printed wrapping paper. It's here among the back streets that you find the 10-Minute Cafe, one of the new, if unlikely, proving grounds for Mr. Gorbachev's economic revolution. On the surface, this is yet another drab state cafe with flaking paint, but in reality, this is a successful test bed, the quality and variety of fresh food already proving beyond doubt the wisdom of the new Kremlin thinking, that personal striving by workers for the once outlawed concept of profit guarantees better goods and services, higher quality for customers, and significantly greater efficiency. Technically, this cafe remains state-owned, and the workers are employed by the state. In reality, the 16 workers pay a fixed amount monthly to the state, then divide what is left. Since they took over the rundown cafe 4 months ago, they've all taken home double what they earned on a flat state wage without any incentives. And they all know that if business is bad, they may earn nothing. Hence the incentive for new ideas. This is what the 10-Minute Cafe calls its secret weapon, a newly acquired second-hand pancake-making machine. Instead of the old, fixed state menus, the workers devised new pancake-based dishes which have brought in many new customers and boosted takings. But for the newly elected manager, Amy Sarponteva, there's been a price. She had to sack 7 of the 23 original staff, unheard of in state enterprises. Instead of 3 cooks, there is now 1, for example. Economically, there was no justification for 3, because there was never enough work. In Estonia, 800 people, 10% of the service sector, now work under what official jargon calls the self-financing system. Official figures say productivity in tiny shops like this 3-man watch repair business has increased up to 40%. It has also curtailed what was once a high level of moonlighting and illegal backstreet business. Kalin Floren, senior repairer, says that as a state employee here on a fixed wage, he used to moonlight. Now his under-the-counter customers patronize the business, raising his legal earnings, but meaning he has to pay extra tax as well. Visiting several of these businesses, we found a similar picture. At this hairdressing salon, pot plants, a more fashionable look, and special touches like fresh flowers and a telephone appointment system. For the most up-to-date styling, customers pay 10% extra. For that, they have the choice not just of 3 or 4 state dyes, but scores of dyes and other materials bought privately on the open market. In the end, what the Estonian experiment is about is unshackling workers from the usual overbearing weight of state rules and regulations. For years, profit, competition, payment by results, and incentive were dirty counter-revolutionary words. Now they are the new-look buzzwords of the Gorbachev revolution and underline the incredible U-turn. The old thinking is now out for good, as Professor Leonid Abalkin, one of Mr. Gorbachev's most senior economic advisors, made clear to me in this rare interview with a Western correspondent.
Зачем принимать законы о расширении и развитии кооперативов?
Why should the state develop cooperatives, then burden them with obstacles? That would be an illogical thing for the state to do. The idea is to give maximum freedom for cooperatives, to make cooperatives compete with state organizations.
At this new pizza bar in Tallinn, that freedom has allowed them to introduce self-service, a rarity in the Soviet Union, plus the freedom to buy whatever they need and to decide themselves whether they pocket the profit or plow money back into the business. But as the new manageress, Elena Chobakova, made clear, it is not total freedom from the state.
Freedom is relative. We are still a state cafe. We are still part of a state institution. We accept the rules of the institution to which we belong. Our freedom is the right to choose people who work here and buy what we need from the market. To solve problems we did not solve before. I consider that to be no small freedom.
But as we found with Tallinn's new freelance taxi drivers, such freedom has not come without its problems. This 21-year-old reconditioned Volga car belongs to Jan Ari, one of 150 new private drivers. He works part-time to supplement his modest income as head of engineering in a state transport factory. Estonia has allowed freelance drivers to take the strain off 800 state drivers, who the city council say cannot satisfy demand for taxis. But while Jan is a national symbol of the new taxi system here, the state drivers resent the competition. They say they cannot meet the daily earnings targets, the plan imposed by the state.
Being a state taxi driver, I would prefer they did not exist. They are competitors. When there is a queue, state taxis have the right to take passengers first. But private taxis are ignoring the law. Many are ignoring the law.
But when he visited Estonia last month, Mr. Gorbachev made clear those attitudes have to change. He complimented Estonia for reaching what he called the frontiers of economic progress. But he added that Estonians could not be complacent because they, like the rest of the Soviet Union, had not yet realized their full potential.